hospital. So obviously family comes first, but that doesn't stop us having a great evening. We've got two exceptional speakers who are now allowed to have a few extra minutes, and that'll give us a few extra minutes for questions as well at the end. So first up we have none other than District 9640 Governor Andy Rajapaksa. Andy is a champion in attracting young people to Rotary. In 2018 and 19, he initiated and formed two new format Rotary clubs, Varsity Lakes and the Gold Coast Passport, the 25th passport club in the world. Andy is also a recipient of Rotary International's highest honour to a Rotarian, the Service Above Self Award. So over to you, Andy. We just look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Hi, everybody. Greetings from the Gold Coast, sunny Gold Coast in Queensland. And let me start sharing my screen. We good? I think, Barbara, we are okay. So, friends, this was John Herco, Secretary General of Rotary International at the 2019 International Assembly in San Diego. He called the governors of that year to action. I was very inspired by him. And that's what has led me to look at forming new and innovative Rotary clubs. If you come to my district in 9640, you will see a variety of clubs. I already welcome here. I have my district governor-elect Jeff Egan in the audience. I have past district governor Sandra Domani, who is my extension chair in the audience. And I hope I have some others in the audience, including my club president from Burleigh Heads. So we have 50 traditional clubs in the district, like how you know, that meets weekly, or some fortnightly. But we also have satellite clubs, 5 clubs. We are one of the districts that formed satellite clubs way back in 2012. And past district governor Sandra Domani is an expert in satellite clubs who initiated the concept in our district. And we have been very successful with satellite clubs. We also have an e-club. We started again in 2012. They have always met online. And about 3 years ago, they moved into Zoom. So when the pandemic hit us, it was so easy for 49 of our clubs to move to Zoom, because our district leadership team and the governors have been using Zoom for the last 4 years. We also have a passport club. That's what Adrian said about that I initiated a passport club last year. We have a university-based club. I saw one or two questions asking why not we have Rotary clubs in universities. Yes, in my district, we have the only university-based Rotary club in Australia. That's at the Griffith University in the Gold Coast. It started as a satellite club first, 5 years ago, and then it moved on to a full Rotary club 3 years ago. I've just launched the Gold Coast Corporate Rotary Club, which is in a corporate building where 51 companies are in there. And it was an invitation by one of the companies for me to start a Rotary Club there so that they get to know the people in that building. My district membership chair, Rowan Johnston, he has initiated Gold Coast 2020 Rotary Club, and that we are launching next week. That is to attract the young professionals in the Gold Coast. 2020 actually is what you use with opticians. It gives you a clear vision, not the perfect vision. 2020 is a clear vision. We also have a Rotaract club, one Rotaract sponsored by my own club, Burleigh Heads. It has 25 members. We have just 2 months ago, I initiated a Rotex club. So Rotex are clubs around the world that engage the returning youth exchange students. And that is to keep them under our wings, so at some point we can transition them to be a Rotarian. We also have 12 Interact clubs. And my district is southern Queensland and northern New South Wales, but all the 12 Interact clubs are in Queensland. So can you see, it's like going to a restaurant. You have a large variety of menus to choose from, and you can fit into one of these, and we will keep increasing these kind of different models. Because if you go to a restaurant and you have only hot dogs, you're not going there again. So what we're trying to do is trying to fit everyone's likings and lifestyles, and Rotary must change to fit the people's lives, people will not fit into the Rotary Club that we have. And that's the flexibility that we are promoting in 9640. This is the Gold Coast Passport Rotary Club story. So it was last year in January, I was having a chat with Barbara Mifsud, our regional membership officer. And I asked Barbara about my idea of starting a Rotary Club for young professionals. And I remember it was the first week of January or something. And she said, Andy, what about a passport Rotary Club? I said, okay. The two of us got together and studied about the passport concept. She connected me with the first passport club in Sacramento, Passport One Rotary. And we learned from their lessons. Those past governors were very helpful to teach me what not to do. And by end of January, I was ready with a marketing plan to market the concept of Passport Rotary. So what I did was, I'm a member of the junior chamber in the Gold Coast and the Gold Coast Chamber. So every month we have a networking cocktail. I went to a networking cocktail end of January last year to the junior chamber. And I spoke to the guys I met there. And I asked them, how do you like to have a passport to visit 36,000 cities so that you actually network with a global audience rather than in a small city like Gold Coast? You know, everybody's eyes popped up. Okay, that looks interesting. What's it about? So I said, we can have a chat. You know, your elevator pitch should be only 42 seconds, only to create curiosity. You don't sell there. And that's my marketing strategy. So I said, we can have a chat. We exchange cards. And there were two girls who wanted to learn a little more. I said, yeah, we can have a chat sometime. 2 weeks later, I get an email from one of the girls. She said, both of us want to know a little more about the passport club. We met up, had a chat. Following week, only one girl came forward, said, I want to know, with a notebook, saying, tell me about this. And that is the charter president of the club, Candice. And in June that year, we were able to form the club. My challenge was, I educated her on Rotary, got onto Rotary.org, showed her the entire global platform of Rotary, how Rotary connects people around the world. It's an amazing platform if you go to Rotary.org. I did not take her to my district website or my club website. And then I told her, if you get 20 people, I'll help you to form a club. And I found my community champion. There were questions asked how to find a community champion. Community champions are in the community. We just need to talk to them and get that idea across. She was my community champion. She used all her Facebook connections, her network connections, and brought in people for information nights. I had a team of 3-4 members of my team. We went, had chats with them. And by June, we had the first passport club in our district. And it was the 25th passport club in the world, chartered with 20 members. What's unique about them is that they meet only on the last Tuesday of the month, once a month. It's a $10 wine and cheese. It's more friendly networking. Can you see the picture? It's a friendly group networking, having just a wine and cheese. They pay their Rotary dues monthly by credit or debit card, pay wave, $30. Actually, they pay $360 a month, which is more than my own club, which pays only $300 a year. They have a fantastic Facebook. If you go to Gold Coast Passport Rotary Facebook, that's the best Rotary Facebook in Australia. And they have a Facebook group that connects with each other. And when they show some interest about some idea or volunteering opportunity, that group moves into a WhatsApp group. That's the interest group. And then for the whole club to know what each group is doing or what the members are doing, they have a beautiful app called Trello. It's a project management app. So everybody knows what each one does. There's no need for minutes, no need for reports. And it also says, I have achieved this. This is my task, or high priority, low priority. And what the passport concept is, they do not have to have a project of their club. The passport club members actually feeder clubs. They feeder members. They support all projects of other Rotary clubs in the area or anywhere in the world. So this Rotary Club members, I know last year, some traveled to Croatia and participated in volunteer projects. Some traveled to Indonesia and got involved in some charity projects. Some traveled to India. And this year, the Gold Coast Passport Rotary Club, they became the international partner for a global grant to supply respiratory equipment to a hospital in Goa in India. And they are not even, it's almost 1 year. And they're gone, they're into action. They want to volunteer. And they can also volunteer with a charity of their choice. So individuals can volunteer. And it's an action kind of a club, not a meeting-oriented club. It's more member-centric and action-centric. And what is required of a Passport Club member is they have to put in 30 hours of community service a year. And it's not an e-club. They meet face-to-face. They pay RI dues. They pay district dues. Now, what is amazing about this club, 25% of the 33 members are under 35. And they come from 14 nationalities. They have mastered the power of attraction. I think these new format clubs attract members. We try to recruit members. I think the modern way to go for clubs would be to attract members, not recruit. What happens, look at these are their meetings that I'm showing you. It's the engagement, very strong engagement of people. They're very interactive, friendly, and most of all, it's affordable, $10 a meeting and once a month. And it's more than that, it's fun. It's actually, they make membership memorable. So when somebody walks in to the meeting, they say, I want to come back again. You'll see in the first picture on top, the gentleman in red, he's a district coach, past district governor, Michael Irving, from my district. And he walked into the club meeting last month and he told me, Andy, they had 11 guests who had walked into the meeting. And 5 of them at the end of the meeting have said, we want to join the club. The other 5 have said, we'll come the next month. So they have mastered the power of attraction simply by engagement and making members feel memorable. They make members like rock stars. Everyone gets a chance to talk. The impact. Now this is only a Passport Club, but because I told you, past Governor Sandra Domani initiated satellite clubs and we have formed different kinds of corporate clubs. All the new clubs have impacted by bringing the district, by bringing in 200 new members who would have not joined Rotary otherwise. I don't think they would have joined our traditional clubs. My club, Burley, is a growing club, amazing club, but I don't know whether these members would have gone into even my club. We have formed 4 new clubs in the last 3 years and formed 7 satellite clubs. And we have attracted the largest percentage of females across Australia and New Zealand. We have 34%. Our district tops this with 412 members. We have also attracted the largest number of under 40s across Zone 8 in Australia and New Zealand, 6.5%, and my goal is to have 10% under 40s. But the amazing is that we have had 0 loss of members in our district for the last 3 years. We have grown. We have terminated clubs and we have still maintained, we have not lost members as a total. All the new clubs have actually created enthusiasm. There was a question that, what about the other clubs around? No, the district leadership has been very strong. All these new clubs are district initiatives and the district governor's team and the leadership team have backed me to make sure that we form new clubs. And it has created a huge public awareness that there are new model clubs across District 9640. And look, what we did is we backed all our efforts with a huge public image campaign, very well organized, very innovative ideas. And I have a fantastic public image team in our district. During the Commonwealth Games in 2018, we took a bus for 6 months, as you see, with a new face of Rotary, with a lot of younger people, and a slogan of people to action and join us. That bus was going across the Gold Coast. I think we had about 2.5 million eyeball exposures. We have a bicycle team of Rotary leaders from the largest clubs across Gold Coast. They bicycle on Sundays and we're on the road. But our plum is that page that you see was a full page editorial in the Jetstar in-flight magazine last year, September. Unfortunately, they're not flying this time in the year. But so that page, we took it And that was targeted mainly towards the Passport Club younger generation members. If you see that, it was written by those 3 people and is written to attract younger members. There were questions how to attract younger members, what to say to them, and this is 7 things you did not know. And we are positioning Rotary more as going around the world, connecting with people, travel. If you see at the bottom, it says 35,900 destinations to visit. During the pandemic crisis in March, we contracted all the 200 public buses on the Gold Coast, which were also school buses. And we had these 2 stickers in every bus. Your passport to the world. How about connecting with 1.2 million people? And we are bigger than the Maccas, bigger than McDonald's, which is true. Rotary is in more countries than McDonald's. So we can find a club very easily. We can connect. And it cost us only $20 a day for 200 buses. The whole campaign was only about $4,000. But as I showed you earlier, all these campaigns cost money, but all these were budgeted in the district budget under public image. Let me tell you, there were questions asked about sustainability of these new clubs and how they are growing. In the last 3 years, my data shows that we have formed 16 new clubs across Australia. And as you could see, 8 clubs have grown in the last 3 years and the other 8 clubs have lost members. 3 of those are from my district. If you look at right on top, obviously it's the Gold Coast Passport Club with the largest growth. From 20, they have grown to 33. And within the next 2 months, they will be 43. Their goal is to be 50 by the 31st of December. But if you see on the top, the purple 4 marks are the 4 new format clubs that have grown out of the 8. So new format clubs are actually growing. But what's amazing is that green highlight at the bottom on the total is that these 16 new clubs brought in 400 new members to Rotary. Now just remember that 400 new members came to Rotary because of these 16 new clubs. And this is my top 20 growth clubs in Australia in the last 3 years. If you look at this, the green highlight is to show that all the top 20 clubs brought in only 252 new members to Rotary in the 3 years. Once again, I'm so happy that my district 9640, Club 9, Tenterfield and Gold Coast are right on top. And 4 clubs in my district are in the top 20 in the growth. But if you look at the top club, Tenterfield, it's a club with a satellite club. It's a new format. The satellite club meets in another town at another time. And the Gold Coast Club is a generic growth, massive growth of 39 to 63. And the Gold Coast Rotary Club is the largest Rotary Club in Queensland now. Hope Island Rotary Club with a satellite club and Boona Rotary. And happy to see the membership chair, past district governor of Hope, my district membership chair of Hope Island, Sandra Domani with us. But once again, can you see 252 members from 20 top clubs and 400 members from 16 new clubs. One question, some of the questions is how much does it cost? I think my experience says it costs about $4,000 to start a new club. And I believe the districts must budget this. All our club, new club extensions, the districts budgeted. It was under district expenditure and the club development. In my district, we also give $5,000 startup money for a new club. About resources, Jesse Harman, our director-elect, asked about resources. There are plenty of resources. All this is not rocket science. These RI guides are available on Rotary.org. How to start a passport club, what is corporate membership, there was a question, and a guide to satellite clubs. I'd like to share with you, in conclusion, a short video that I did, impromptu video of the passport club, a meeting. It was their changeover. And this was out of my Samsung phone, so it's not a professionally done video, but this is what the young people said, why they want to be part of Rotary.
I joined to make a difference to the community and surround myself with positive people.
I was a Rotary Youth Exchange student. I attended Ryla, spoke at Rights, and I knew I'd always be a Rotary member, but it was just a matter of time and opportunity, and a friend was joining this club, so I said, if they're joining, I'm joining.
I had a lot of time. I've got a baby coming, I'm on maternity leave, and I really wanted to volunteer, and this is a great chance to meet a lot of people and then also be exposed to lots of great opportunities as well.
I joined Rotary because I wanted to see how I could help, how I could make a difference.
I've changed a little bit from, wanting to gain more material things to really make a difference and, leave a good footprint on this planet when I leave.
I joined Rotary to meet like-minded individuals and help the community grow and give a lot of my time to benefit the rest.
I was raised in a family where giving back was common, and that's, I don't know, it provides a meaningful life, right? When you give back to humans, and we're privileged. So why wouldn't we give back? I have got a husband and 4 kids, and I also want to mentor them a bit to do the same thing. I'm very conscious that Gen X and, Z actually, I don't know, everything's very instant in this digital world, and even though it's awesome, I think sometimes people can forget about humans and the connection, how important it is, and to volunteer is actually a massive part and purpose of most people's lives. Everyone feels really alive when they help. So I think Rotary gives us that, and it accesses the world. And I've had a global background, so my family, I've lived in 7 countries, so I feel like it's another way to keep those connections and expand them.
I didn't even know that much about Rotary before I joined the Gold Coast Rotary Passport. I had no clue, to be honest, but I was just so surprised when I came to the first meeting and people was just coming together, joining into these projects to collaborate together and really just make the world a better place. I was really, really surprised. I couldn't believe that such a place existed, and so without even thinking it twice, I decided to join. It was amazing. I'm from Colombia, así que todos bienvenidos al Gold Coast Rotary Passport Club. Aquí los vemos.
Hello everybody, having awesome time. Why did I join Rotary? Because it's a phenomenal organization that brings like-minded people together to affect their community and the international community, and it's just fun.
Christian and I joined because we also have people in our family who have been in Rotary, and we wanted to join the Rotary family to be able to make a difference, and it kind of really does feel like a family now as well, especially when we're with younger people wanting to make a difference but sometimes struggling with the time. So specifically Gold Coast Passport Club gives you the opportunity to still come once a month. We're in touch with each other, we can support charities and sort of have the opportunity to still do something without having to do something every single week, if that makes sense. I would say to get to know each other is really nice because the majority of us are also in business, or the majority of us also travel. So we kind of combine our intense lives, which is normally quite busy, with doing these kind of cool events.
Look, I wanted to join a community that I'm passionate about, whatever they're passionate about, like environment, helping the community, the youth, whatever it is. I wanted to join a group of people that want to help other people. Because once you sit there as an old person and you're an old man on your rocking chair, you look back in your life and you're like, what did I give back? What did I do? How did I help? I want to be a part of a community that gives back, supports, helps, maintains, so we have a better planet in the future than we have when we started today. That's why I joined Rotary.
Thank you, my friends. And I'll stop sharing my screen. So what last message is that if you want to change, please use your energy to build something new, not to change the old. That's what Socrates said, 5th century Greek philosopher. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andy. What a fantastic presentation. And I can see by the chat screen there that people are dying to get hold of that video. And I'm sure that we'll be able to make that possible or a link to it at the end of the session. Now, for everyone that's in at the moment, we've got 100 participants and we've got people wanting to get in, but they were too late. So congratulations, you're the first lucky 100 that have got in. So thank you very much for that, Andy. Our next speaker is past District Governor Karen Purdue, who is a member of the Rotary Club of Invercargill Sunrise. Karen was a District Governor in the 2015-16 Rotary year, and that was a very good year, wasn't it, Karen? I think we'll go this District Governors together.
Indeed, Adrian.
And she's the District 9980 Club Development Chair for 2016 to 2020. She's currently an Assistant Rotary Regional Coordinator for District 9940 and 9970 in New Zealand and does a fantastic job. Karen is also a Community Partnership Leader for Council in her day job. So thanks, Karen, and let's welcome Karen.
Thanks, Adrian. I'll just wait till Barb gets the thank you. So I'm really excited to be with you all tonight, sharing the story of chartering new clubs in District 9980. I've been involved in growing Rotary in my district for about 9 years, and what I've learnt is I still have a heck of a lot to learn. I'm certainly not an expert on how to fix Rotary's membership problems. However, I believe a good start is for us to share our good and not so good experiences, our knowledge and our stories. I would like to acknowledge the collective experience and knowledge of everyone on this webinar tonight. District 9980 is located in the southern lower South Island of Aotearoa, and we've been struggling with membership for a number of years. We're a small district with just 31 clubs. We also have a university-based Rotaract club, 4 Interact clubs, and a Rota Kids club. As you can see from the slide, the real issues with the district membership started back in the 30-year period from 1990, when only 1 new club was chartered. This was generally not recognised as being a problem at the time. About 2010, the first stirrings of, oh gee, we might have a problem, were heard. In 2012, District Governor John Prendergast, being a numbers man, scared us all with his predictions of not just if, but when the Rotary lights would go out if we continued on our current trajectory. At the time, I'd been nominated to be a District Governor nominee, and John was stepping into the district membership role. We decided it was time to take action together. We identified that the district had an ageing demographic, and it was just going to get worse in the years ahead. We had experienced a significant trend of membership loss over the previous 5 years. There was virtually no interest from clubs to change the traditional experience they were offering. We felt there was more chance to grow membership if we started new clubs. We identified in particular that we needed to grow our young people base, and we recognised that doing nothing was just not an option. So we hatched a plan. In 2014, the Queenstown Rotary Club had invited Holly Ransom to be a guest speaker at an event to gauge interest in the formation of a new club designed for a younger demographic. Holly, in 2012, was the world's youngest club president at age 22 at the Rotary Club of Crowley in Perth, Rock as she called it, a very inspiring young woman. After the event, a group of 12 young professionals decided to progress plans for a new club. They wanted to be recognised as the next generation of Rotarians. The NRG story in our district had begun. Subsequently, we invited Holly to events in the 2 cities in our district. The structure of this event was that Holly spoke about her outstanding career, her Rotary journey, and why Rotary was a great fit for young people who wanted to make a difference, who wanted to change the world. Young people talking with young people about Rotary. These events were well attended. We had 60 in Invercargill and 35 in Dunedin. At the end of her presentation, she issued a call to action. If you are interested in progressing a group with a view to having a young person's Rotary Club, I'll be at breakfast at this particular cafe, and I'm really happy for you to come join me and continue our Rotary conversation. So 15 turned up in Invercargill and 10 in Dunedin for breakfast with Holly. In addition, at these events, we collected names of people in attendance and we followed those lists up on a regular basis. I would like to make it clear that these events were part of a district strategic plan. Next slide, Barb. So these events were part of a district strategic plan, or game plan as I prefer to call it. You'll notice in 2015, we had a simple goal, to charter 4 new clubs in 3 years. Remembering we had only chartered 1 in the previous 30. Importantly, we shared this plan with our Rotarians at Rotary events like Rotary Leadership Institute, President-elect training, District Governor Club visits, assembly, seminars. We planted a seed. We made it known new clubs were part of our game plan for growing our district and shaping our future. You'll notice in our 1922 plan that opening new clubs is still part of our game plan. Were there challenges? Oh, hell yes. We encountered a lot of opposition. We heard comments like, a new club will take members away from our club. There's not enough interest to have a new club. Did existing clubs feel threatened by the addition of a new club? Absolutely they did. We've tried it before and it didn't work. The perception of Rotary and the younger generation also presented challenges. In 2016, next slide. In 2016, history was made in our district with the charter of the Rotary Club of Next Rotary Generation in Invercargill, chartered with 27 members, 70% women, average age 27, 9 different nationalities. One thing I've learned from this experience is that you can do something different. Getting the club chartered with the name NRG Invercargill, for example, was quite a mission. It can be done though. A lot of support and assistance came from Parramatta and from Rotary International in Evanston. Then 2 Dunedin Rotarians approached us and said they had a dream, and they had had that dream for a very long time. They wanted to start a cause-based e-club. Everyone said it couldn't be done. It was just too hard, right? Wrong. The Rotary E-Club of Wash was chartered in late 2016. A Rotary club with a focus on water, sanitation and hygiene. The first cause-based club in the world in Little Old District 9980 at the bottom of the world. Yes. The charter president, Chris, is pictured here at the Rotary Convention in Toronto with other E-Club members. Then, in 2019, the Mount Aspiring Rotary Club was chartered, a new style club similar to the Rotary Club of Seaford model. Wanaka already had a very successful Rotary Club. Past District Governor Janice Hughes saw that there was an opportunity to offer a different Rotary experience for a younger demographic. Sure, a few members of the existing club transferred to the aspiring club. Currently, Wanaka Rotary has 51 members and aspiring 31. Both are attracting members, which clearly shows there is a market for both club experiences. Not bad to have 80 odd Rotarians in a relatively small town of 8,000. In 2017, the Rotary Club of Next Rotary Generation Dunedin was chartered. It's the charter president there, Susanna Walker. It may surprise you that within 2 to 3 years, many new clubs fail. Well, in 2019, the Rotary Club of NRG Dunedin, after just 2 years, failed. Why, you might be asking yourself? Well, in hindsight, this club was not ready to be chartered. It only had about 10 really active members with 4 to 5 others on the sidelines. I'm going to be a little bit circumspect here, but I think it's fair to say that there was a real desire to have this club chartered at the time that it was by others in the district. The requirement for 20 members was met, I believe, in a way that was just not sustainable. However, as my quote there says, the game is not over. We are trying again with the experience of failure to restart this type of club in Dunedin. Here's another learning experience. You will recall I spoke about the NRG concept being developed by Queenstown back in 2014. Again, it hovered around the 12 to 15 active members. In 2016, the Queenstown Rotary Club invited the group to join them. With some significant financial incentives thrown in, and despite advice not to do it from people like me, 11 NRG members joined the very traditional Rotary Club of Queenstown. Did it work out? Hell no. And you won't be surprised to know that none of those 11 young people are still Rotarians. NRG Timaru is still operating and has a very close relationship with the Rotary Club of Timaru. Jess, pictured on my slide there, is actually the Timaru Rotary Club president this year. So what makes the Next Rotary Generation Club so different? Well, here's some observations from me, who comes from 20 years of experiencing traditional Rotary. Changeovers. So much fun and very informal. The bottom left of your screen are photos of 2 of the NRG changeovers. We have a tradition that involves all the local president-elects attending each other's club's changeovers. Boy, do the NRG changeovers challenge some of those really traditional club presidents. A literacy project, free comic book day in conjunction with the local library, where Rotarians dressed as comic characters, and they had a corporate sponsor as a partner, which isn't common in the clubs in our district. Another real fun event. This project actually received a community award. NRG Invercargill organise a Christmas quiz event for all our local clubs, and they have an annual event to thank their supporters, sponsors and friends of their club. Another thing that doesn't happen elsewhere in our district. This is, believe it or not, local politicians running for office. At the NRG organised event, they were given Lego to build their vision for the city, and they had to work with other candidates to make it happen. That's not typical of Rotary clubs hosting politicians at election time. NRG communicate internally using a closed Facebook page. If you look closely, you'll see that they don't have many speakers scheduled, and during lockdown, one of their topics for their Zoom meeting was about being a Rotarian in the tough times. Inductions are a very special event at Next Rotary Generation Club. They have a dress-up theme. They involve the members' work or a hobby or interest, and we get as many members involved as you can. You'll see here up in the top left-hand corner a Star Wars themed induction being done by our Assistant Governor, Robin. I don't think you'll see that in a traditional club. We also had an induction on air of the radio announcer, which produced a lot of publicity for us. And we also had a person who shifted from the big city of Auckland to the bottom of the South Island. So we welcomed them with a theme of country. So let me share some lessons from our experience. Let each group shape their own future. Forget how we do it. I could add, keep other Rotarians away from sharing the Rotary way in the early stages. I had one Rotarian ask an NRG Rotarian when they were going to turn into a real Rotary club, for example. Assigning dedicated mentors to the club is critical. Make sure they're the right people, and more than one is a good idea. Developing meaningful service projects is critical to success. Getting members involved beyond club meetings, for example, in other district events and Rotary Learning and Information Evenings and Rotary Leadership Institute. Young people in our district are great supporters of training and of events, and they add real energy. Remember, once a club is chartered, they need to still be growing. Building leadership capacity and capability is important for new clubs. Just like Andy mentioned, providing financial support in year one is extremely helpful for new clubs. Our district gives a $4,000 grant, which can be used for things like public image resources, club setup costs like becoming an incorporated group, which you have to do in New Zealand, and subsidising Rotary International or district fees. Provide assistance in dealing with conflict and do it early. We did have some conflict in some of our new clubs. The positive support of the Assistant Governor is absolutely vital. There are a lot of resources out there. Here are my go-to resources. And I am also, by the way, a really big webinar fan. I'm often asked, was this journey we're on worth it? Absolutely, without a doubt, yes. Would I want to be involved again? Yes. The journey, of course, for our district is not over. There are more clubs to be started, and we currently have 2 in development. Here's my call to action, my challenge to you. Stop having the should, could, would conversations. Turn them into do and did conversations, because if you don't, Rotary won't have a tomorrow. Just do it. Reach out. We are stronger collectively than as individuals. In conclusion, I'd like to share this with you. We own the future. It's ours to decide. So challenge the status quo, start small, speak up, stand for something, and don't let anyone tell you you can't, because change requires action. Take action. Be creative, have the courage of your convictions, be passionate, be relentless, be persistent. There is hope, because the alternative is not an option. Write your own rule book, change the game, prove them wrong. We can do this, we must do this. Let's take these Rotary opportunities to shape our future. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all the best on your Rotary journey to expand our reach by chartering new clubs. Ngā mihi.
Well, thank you, Karen. Let's put our hands together for Karen. That was a fantastic presentation, and we got a lot from that. And it's interesting to note that not everyone's a winner. Sometimes you've got to learn some lessons along the way. That was a very good point. I also like the point that Andy made about the hot dogs at the restaurant. You know, if you keep serving them, that's not what everyone wants. And it reminded me about something that I used to say about new clubs, and that was, I think Rotary is a bit like radio stations. If you think about the radio stations in your city, you've got radio stations that have got news, sport, talkback, and music, but they all play different music, talkback, because they appeal to different demographics. So you've got to have all these different types for Rotarians or people to become involved with Rotary. Now, we've got lots of questions. We had 120 something registrations and that many questions. Unfortunately, the last 27 who didn't get in time have missed out, but we'll be able to send them the recording, and hopefully when we have our next session, we'll up our license so we can have a bit more than 100. Anyway, we've got a lot of questions. I'm going to ask my good friend Damien Leach, Assistant Rotary Coordinator. Damien, he's gone through all the questions, put them all together, worked out which ones are the grouped together and prioritised, and he's going to ask those questions that haven't yet been answered. So over to you, Damien.
Thank you very much, Adrian. And I have to also say thank you to DG Andy and Past District Governor Karen for such fabulous presentations. A lot of the questions that had come through from the participants that are with us tonight were actually covered in your presentation. So I've been ticking them off as you've been talking. So but thank you for such great presentations. I think the first question that we might start off with is, we're talking about new clubs. How did the two of you gauge what type of club to start up in a particular community? So Karen, did you want to go first, and then I'll go to Andy, and then the next question, Andy can go first.
Well, that's a really interesting question, isn't it? I guess we had an initial focus on young clubs, and you've got to remember this was back in 2014. So we just let them decide themselves what sort of club they wanted to be. And as I say, Next Rotary Generation was a concept that was formed by the very first group. And I think that's a bit of a secret. You know, I think we try to say, oh, this is the kind of club that you should be. It should be a passport club, or it should be a whatever club. You know, let them actually, if they've got an interest in Rotary, then let them decide. And then we just tried as district people to make sure we could kind of get the rules to fit what they wanted to be, I think is probably the best way of putting it.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. Andy.
Yeah. You know, what we can do as a district leader is we can take a look at the clubs that we have in our district and see what kind of vacuum we have. Now, like if a district does not have younger members, then we need to start clubs that are attractive to young members. Not attract young, have a club and then I invite the members, but you know, what is attractive to younger members? So the Passport Club came about with that, you know, to make it flexible, affordable. That's what you heard it from them in the video. They can't come every week. So, you know, that's simple. So now like I see a vacuum in our district of a corporate club, and that's why we launched a corporate club, is for the corporate sector people to come in, because they network on a different level. And that's once again a once a month wine and cheese corporate network, where each company will host a networking evening, and they will cross market. They'll say about their company. When they have 52 companies in a building, it's the same way that Paul Harris started Rotary out in Chicago, talking to the friends in that building to get to know. And this is what we do very well, connecting people. And the 2020 club is about $20 for young professionals, $20 a breakfast, 20 meetings a year, and 20 minutes of networking. So, you know, I think we need to see where we don't have the proper representation of the demographic. And I think that's a better way to go, plan it. And you can't do, you know, one club will take sometimes 2 years. But if you have champions, I think my extension chair is here with us, Past Governor Sandra Domani, but I'm very clear about it that I like every assistant governor to initiate a new club. Every member in my club development team must initiate a club. One person cannot do, because I think we need to take great strides. You know, we need to have quantum leaps, not just a leap. If we are to grow our districts and grow Rotary, we need to have quantum leaps. So we need 5-6 clubs forming every year in every district. And we can assess looking at our own districts. I hope I answered that, Damien.
You did. Thank you very much, Andy. As a follow-up to, I guess, that, there's, and this is, I guess, a two-part question. The first one is, Karen, in your presentation, you mentioned about how there was some concern from clubs that were in the surrounding area, and I think, Andy, you may have come across this too, when you started up the new clubs. How did you overcome those objections from those clubs, or did you just ignore them?
Okay, well,
Andy, did you want to go first?
I think it's really important to say that we're very lucky in our district because our past district governors, and our current and successive DG trains were very, very supportive of the strategic plan. And I think it's important, as I said, to put it out there that this is part of our plan. And look, the best comeback really is, well, if you guys are doing such a great job of growing our membership, well, you know, we probably wouldn't have to look at this, but you're not. I mean, that's really it. I mean, to a certain extent, I just ignored it all. And to be honest, once the first couple of clubs got chartered, people got really excited because they could see that we were bringing in different people that wouldn't actually have joined Rotary anyway. Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Andy, did you want to extend on that?
Yes, Damien. This is, I think, a common problem all over the world. And I think it is where people are threatened by, their kingdoms are threatened. You know, they have like held a kingdom. But I think times have changed. We need to look at a geographic area, and if there is a need for a club there. In my district in the recent years, that is a district initiatives that form clubs. But I would say that, you know, Mark Maloney had it very nicely explained to us. I have some of my DG colleagues here. I think Bruce Anderson is here, David Clark. I think we remember Mark Maloney brought a paper, A4 paper, and he folded it and said, no one club can cater to all the community's needs because there will be gaps. And so you have to look at the geographic population of a community and see whether the Rotary clubs represent a percentage of that community to be relevant. There were questions how to be relevant. To be relevant is you have to be relevant to your community. So in an area now, we have taken a look at our entire district, and everywhere we have clubs. We are, in my district is growing, we are strong, but there is no place, no city in our district where we represent more than 0.5% of the population. And you'll be surprised, the club that represents the largest percentage is a 0.65 is Gundawindi, furthest west of in Queensland, and that club is a 40-member club, but they represent 0.65% of the population. So I think, you know, you have to take a look at what your outside population. We have 700,000 people living on the Gold Coast, including me, but we have only 740 Rotarians. You know, this is a city where we should be having about 1,500 Rotarians. You should be very relevant to outside. So, but you know, when clubs do come and protest or say things, I think the district should take a good stand on that and check whether those clubs have grown. Like Karen said, have they grown over the last 5-10 years? If they have not grown, then it's irrelevant of that club is not relevant anymore. So you need new clubs.
Thank you, Andy. This will be our last question because we do need to wrap up. So we've gone through a lot of the logistics of sort of how to set up and liaison with other clubs, etc. In terms of building an interest within the community, what type of strategies did you employ, both of you, in building up the interest in the community to actually engage in that new club? And then once they were in, how did you engage them over the first 3 months?
Okay, so we're very lucky where we live because young people actually attract a lot of publicity. So there was a lot of interest from the community about a young person's Rotary Club because of the perception that was in our community around what Rotary was. So one of the things we often say about the young people is, you know, they can get a story in the paper like that and the rest of us can't get a look in. And so they do attract publicity anyway. I guess the other thing is that we just keep talking about them all the time, and they really like interacting with our other Rotary clubs as well. So they do a lot of projects together, that sort of stuff, and a real key is to have a meaningful service project in the first 3 months. And NRG definitely had that. And as I said about the mentors, you know, we had the right people mentoring that club. They could shape themselves, shape their future, but they had really experienced senior Rotarians who didn't tell them what to do, who listened to what they said, and sometimes had to give them a little push in the right direction, but they shaped their own future.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Andy?
Damien, I think we have to start engaging them within the first 3 minutes. 3 months is too long, right? Because, you know, these are human beings we are talking about, and, you know, the human being is a person who wants attention. So we have to pay a lot of attention. It's not only mentoring, you know, making any member who walks in feel good. All of us need it. And newer members need it more. I think President of Sydney Rotary Club, Fatima Ali, is with us, and she has asked a question: how do we make it Rotary relevant or attractive in competing? There are the competing interests. Yes, there are the competing interests, but you heard in that video how many young people said they want to be part of Rotary. You know, there's no other global organization like us who connects people and who trains people. But you know, what I see is that public image is very important, because people get very enthusiastic seeing the organization that they are part of wherever they go. And this has helped us quite a lot to create enthusiasm among our members, new and existing. Remember, we can go for new clubs and new members, but do not forget your existing members. You have to keep them enthusiastic. We have to keep them engaged. So public image can play a key role. I'm a marketing professional. I can tell you that is what we do as marketing people. We don't sell. We actually make them feel good. It's the salespeople who take a half of your wallet. I take half of your heart, and my sales team will take half of your wallet. So, you know, it's about public image will play a key role in making everyone feel good. And they are not scared then to talk about Rotary. They'll be more happy to come to a Rotary meeting and be friends. But we have to engage from the first 3 minutes.
Exactly. I totally agree with you, Andy and Karen. And I think it's about communicating our value proposition to people, and that's number one for us. We are running out of time. Thank you both of you for your presentations and for the questions. And there will be a document that will be a follow-up to send to everyone with all the questions, and we'll be posing those to our presenters over the next couple of days. Now I'd like to pass back to Coordinator Adrian Roach to wrap up.
Thank you, Damien. Thank you for looking after that session, and Karen and Andy for answering those questions so well. As Damien did allude to, we have lots of questions that that we're going to provide answers. In fact, our Assistant Rotary Coordinator, Ingrid Waugh, is going to put together that document with lots of helpful information and links to where you can find those answers. And our good friend RMO Barbara will send that out along with a copy of the recording, and also hopefully a link to Andy's video. Will you be happy to share that video, Andy?
Adrian, I have given it to Barbara. So Barbara has the video, and any of you can use it. It's the first time. This is the first time I have used the video, and you're the first to see it. And within 24 hours, I will have it on my Facebook.
Oh, very good, very good. We feel very privileged. Now, thank you to the panelists and the team of the ARCs and our Rotary Membership Officer, Barbara, who put this forum together. Special thank you to RI Director-elect Jessie for her support and encouragement. A very special thank you to you, the participants, who, without your support, this would have been a complete waste of time. Now we have learned what we can do. Let's go out and do it. We have a great membership team. We've got, besides myself, we've got our ARCs, Barbara, and we've got the district membership chairs who, and the G-Train, the Governor-elect and Governor nominee, all wanting to help you. So let's not let COVID-19 stop us moving forward. Let's make a pact and see what we can do in our districts. I'm sure that if you want to start a new club, that you will have all the help and support to make it happen. Now, we have session 2 on Thursday, the 8th of October, same time, with another 3 great presenters, DG Nick Courtney, past District Governor Ari Geros, and President Rebecca Fry from the new Innovation in Action, the Rotary Social Network Club. So we hope to see you then. And don't forget to tell your friends to come and join us. Hopefully we'll be able to fit more than 100 on the 8th of October. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Jesse.